All right, guys, gonna go ahead and start pulling this carb off. So basically get these 3 Allen heads here. I believe they're probably like a 3/16, maybe about 30 seconds, something like that. So loosen them up. I'm gonna try to do is pull this, like I said, off, just clean it up and put it back together. And we'll see how this thing, see what it does. Like I said, I pulled the bowl off on the bike yesterday, and it's pretty nasty. So I thought maybe run a little bit of fuel through it, you know, to make clean up enough to kind of ride it for a second and see what it's going to do. But crap, it just it's pretty gummy. So so I've got these pulled loose. I think the only thing I lack now, you've got a choice on the back here. You can either pull this bolt here off, or you can pull this bolt here off. It's the same thing right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pull these off. Look like they're probably 9/16 maybe. I'll go get a wrench and I'll cut back here in just a second. So these actually are 1/2 inch. So I was wrong. I thought they'd look a little bigger than that, but they're not. So 1/2 inch. I'll loosen them up. Should be able to get these off. And there's just a lock washer and a regular washer with this one. I think most of these will be pretty close to the same here. Sorry guys, moving the camera around a little bit. But, I really should go get my GoPro, but being lazy, I didn't want to mess with it, so I'm just going to use my phone today. So there we go. Oops. So let that drop down and hang down here. Bolt. So just let that kind of twist around there. Okay, so basically now the carb pretty much will pull straight out towards you. There's just a rubber boot in behind here. So I've got the fuel already shut off. I've actually already loosened this up beforehand. So the fuel line should just come up and off. And then there's a vacuum line right here that goes, I believe, back to the, I thought I went back to the petcock, but it may not on this bike. It may, hell, there may not even be. I believe there is a vacuum line on the back side of this carburetor, but let me see if I can get it kind of pulled out here. Actually, on this particular bike, somebody has put a hose clamp. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but somebody's put a hose clamp on here, which has kind of made this a pain in the butt. So typically most bikes I've worked on, they don't have the hose clamp on the backside. I don't think that's really a thing. So I don't know if somebody put that on, because typically when you push this in and you attach your bracket and everything, it holds all that solid. So not real sure why there's a hose clamp on there. So I'm gonna cut off here, see if I can get a screwdriver back into that, see if I can at least get it loosened up and maybe get it tipped down to where I can get it from the underside here. And then we'll continue getting this off. So I'll cut back here in a minute. All right guys, this is what I actually used to get it out. I was able to put that back in there and ratchet it out. So turned out, worked really decent. The other thing I didn't show, over here on this side, you got to loosen the choke here. So this is like a 11/16, I believe, for the backside. So you can use the front adjustment here, loosen up a little bit, and back the back off. And you guys can see there, it just falls out of that groove right there. Drop it down, and you're good to go. So we'll go back around here on the other side, think it's close to being ready to come out here. I think the only thing I need to do, like I said, we'll pull this choke through, and then I need to pull this vacuum line. It should just pop up and off here. I may have to put the camera down, use 2 hands. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to. It's a little snugger than I thought. There we go, it came off. So now I should be able to pull this choke through, and you kind of want to pay attention to how you route things through here, so you guys can kind of see this one goes through and in front of the wire there and in. So now I've got the carb out. I can actually, this little plastic nut here, I'll loosen that up, and other than that, just pull the throttle. There's 2 Phillips here. I'll pull both of these off, and the carb will be completely out. But you guys can see how nasty, even on that butterfly, this thing's pretty dirty. Like I said, I pulled the float off, and inside the carb is pretty gummy. So I'm gonna go ahead. One thing I did when I pulled this off, and as you guys can see, the little oh, I don't know what these are called, the little plunger deal here. It's actually here on the ground. It fell out, and I didn't mess with putting it back because crap, I knew I was gonna be pulling it completely off. So I'm gonna go ahead, like I said, and pull this Phillips up on top. That'll loosen up where I can get my throttle. Actually, I may be able to turn this right now, possibly, if I adjust my idle down, but I think it'll be easier just pull these loose, pull my throttle cables off, and then I'll have the carb out here and I can start cleaning it up. But what I was getting at, again, guys, was I've never seen one with a hose clamp on here. So that is different. I may go ahead and put it back, but I'm going to turn it over so I can actually get to it. But again, most of these I've worked on, there's a nice little lip in here, and the boot feels good, so I may not even put it back. Again, I'll look online before I go that route, but most of the time you just shove these in, and then your bolts and your actual intake hold that all together. So again, I'll kind of look that up, but I probably won't put the hose clamp back because I don't think it needs it. So I'll come back here, guys. Still got the carb off. So basically what I'm gonna do first, I've already got these 2 screws out. Again, like I said, I was messing with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull these 2 screws out, and then I'll kind of show you the inside. There's this one and this one, and we'll look at the inside of this and we'll go from there. So after pulling this apart, I think the main issue with this carburetor was the fact that this needle was not adjusted correctly. So basically what I'm gonna do is bend this up a touch, and then that way it allows this needle to actually come out. So I think that was the main issue here. The needle really was just barely even, like maybe a fraction, so it wasn't allowing fuel into the bowl. So bowl actually doesn't, or the carb itself doesn't look bad. Bowl looked pretty clean. Again, I know this thing had been rebuilt previously, but it's been sitting for a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the jets out of it, make sure everything looks clean, blow everything out, put this back together. I don't even know if I'm gonna pull the top off this, guys. Everything seems pretty clean on it. So I'm gonna adjust the float, get it set correctly, so that way with this thing sitting in here and it floats, you fill the carb up, it'll actually do something. So again, like I said, when it was in here, moving the float, didn't matter how far you moved it, just barely came off. So adjust that. I'll cut back here in just a minute when I get these jets pulled out. I'll let you guys know. All right, guys, after pulling it apart, the idle jet was pretty nasty. I've kind of wiped it off a little bit. I still haven't cleaned it, but it ain't wanting to focus. But anyway, the jet was pretty nasty on the idle side. The actual main jet really didn't look too bad. It's pretty open, so were all the little, I don't remember what these are called. But anyway, it all looked pretty decent. So again, I'm gonna go ahead, blow through all of the ports on it. And I may pull, honestly looking down in there, I don't know how well you guys can see down in the main there, where your sliding stuff goes. It actually looks really, really clean. So I'm not super concerned about any of it. So I'm gonna blow it all out, clean the main jets, adjust my float, put this thing back together, and sorry, camera's not wanting to focus. So get all that done, and I'm gonna throw it back. I'll show kind of the process putting it back on the bike here, and we'll see what she does. All right, guys, got the carb here rebuilt. I don't know if you guys remember how black, you can still see some black around the edges, but for just blowing it off, cleaning off the carb cleaner and blowing everything out, putting it back together, cleaned up decent. So really think the jet and the float was my issue. The float seemed to be quite a ways off. So I've got the float set, I believe correctly. We'll see when I get it on. Hopefully I didn't go too far. And like I said, cleaning out the idle jet was the biggest issue. So I'm gonna go ahead, get the choke back on it here, right there, get it back on, and then hook the throttle back up, and then we'll put it back into place. And I'll cut back after I get this all installed, and we'll see what the bike does. All right, guys, got the carb, everything back on the bike. Definitely running better. To me, it sounds like it's missing on one cylinder. So you give it a little choke, and then that cylinder takes off. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on, if it's still carb related, or if I got a plug that's falling out on me, or that's just bad. I haven't changed the plugs in this thing, so I do need to probably get new plugs put in it, but we'll go ahead. I'll fire it up here. So it still won't idle. I think it's that rear cylinder. I think it's just not, I can hear it firing. I'm just wanting to plug it and isn't going bad. So, but other than that, yeah, bike's at least running now. I can take it down the road. The high end's fine, just it won't idle. So it actually rides really good. Just got to get the low end, find out what's going on there. Probably do a compression test on it, that type of thing. So kind of see what's going on. And again, it could still be carbureted. Something to do with that, but I think this plug's probably not firing on this side all the time. So, but anyway, I'm gonna end the video here. Guys, have any questions, I'll do my best to try to help you guys out, and stay tuned for more videos on this bike and others. Thanks again for watching.